Hello and welcome to the Aviator's Lounge, your gateway to the freshest headlines, insider insights, and exclusive analysis of the latest developments across the Middle East aviation sector. My name is Karim Tolba, I'm the editor of the Aviator Middle East, and I'll be your host on this exciting series. Today, I'm joined once again by Prachi Patel, the deputy editor of the Aviator Middle East. Prachi, welcome once again to the show. Thank you so much for joining me, and I really look forward to our conversation.
Thank you so much, Karim, for having me here once again.
Today's episode is packed with exclusive insights, announcements, and more. The 2024 edition of the Arabian travel market held in Dubai between the 6th and 9th of May has seen significant developments, from major agreements to game-changing announcements and more. In this episode, we'll bring these announcements into the spotlight. Additionally, we have a special guest who will share exclusive insights into the regional aviation sector. Prachi, how did you find the ATM this year?
Well, really interesting. It was my first ATM, so I find it really interesting. Met a lot of industry people, got some really good insights. So to sum up it, I would say that it was a really interesting event.
Well, one thing I've noticed myself was the exceptionally high turnout this year. I've checked ATM's official website for the exact numbers, and this year has seen 46,000 people attending the event. It also had 2,300 exhibitors and 165 participating countries.
Really, yeah, because when I went there and when I saw it was all the halls were booked off DWTC, and I was really shocked. I was like, wow, this is a really massive event.
It was really packed. Yeah. I agree. In addition to the high turnout, the event also saw some royal visits by His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Crown Prince of Dubai and Chairman of the Executive Council of Dubai. It was also opened by His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Saeed Al Maktoum, the President of the Dubai Civil Aviation Authority, Chairman and CEO of Emirates Airline and Group, and the Chairman of Dubai Airports, Fly Dubai, and Dubai Duty Free. Additionally, the 2024 edition also saw some big announcements. Prachi, could you please share some of these with us?
Yes, of course. I'll start with Emirates. So Emirates and FlyNAS, they extended their current interline partnership. So FlyNAS has included Zayed International Airport and Sharjah International Airport into its network. And I believe starting from September 2024, it will commence flights from Riyadh's King Khalid International Airport to Al Maktoum International Airport and Jeddah's King Abdulaziz International Airport and Medina Airport to Zayed International Airport and Sharjah International Airport. Moving on, Riyadh Air. So Riyadh Air hinted that the airline is in talks with both manufacturers, Boeing and Airbus, to acquire additional wide-body aircraft. And we've been seeing and hearing reports that Riyadh is also in the final stages of talks with getting additional narrow-body aircraft. But as you know, when we reached out to them, the airline didn't comment on that.
Yeah, so they couldn't confirm the circulating reports over their upcoming narrow-body order. However, there has been mentions of the upcoming narrow-body order since the Dubai Air Show held in 2023, in November 2023.
Yes.
So I believe this could be announced in the upcoming weeks, in the upcoming months.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. That's what I'm thinking as well. There's a really high chance.
Now, moving back to Riyadh Air's order for wide-body aircraft, this would be the airline's second order for wide bodies, and it falls seamlessly within the airline's strategy to build an extensive fleet of more than 200 aircraft only within its initial 5 years of operations. And that's what CEO Tony Douglas said during the ATM.
Yeah.
Tony actually mentioned that the upcoming order will be focused on wide bodies because of the scale of the network that the airline needs to operate. His exact words were, quote, "If we have to serve more than 100 cities in 5 years, the size of the fleet you need to do that is extensive. So it requires us to move at a fast pace," end quote. Now, moving on to another exciting topic. The Omani flag carrier Oman Air has recently announced a major undertaking to transform its operations and boost its financial performance. As you know, this transformative strategy, scheduled to last well into 2027, will involve major changes to the carrier's operating model, fleet composition, and also its network of destinations.
Yes, of course. I think over the past few months, we've seen that Oman Air has slightly changed their network plans as well. And if I'm not wrong, Said Hamoud Al Mavli, the Minister of Transport, Communication and Information Technology, and the chairman of Oman Air's board of directors, he said that by 2027, Oman Air will be a healthy company and will be ready for growth, because currently the airline is basically focusing on the seat, optimizing the seat occupancy and the yield to ensure that's basically the financial performance.
Actually, one interesting aspect of the airline's transformation plan is the planned transition into a single aircraft family fleet in the future. Now, this, according to the airline, will help streamline maintenance and MRO operations, as well as unify their offering across the fleet. They currently operate a mixed fleet of both wide-body and narrow-body aircraft. But of course, this fleet modernization program comes at a price.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to come with the challenges because the airline hasn't been making profits in recent years. Although, if you've seen the 2023 financial results the airline reported, if I'm not wrong, it's like a 36% decrease in the net losses, but the revenue increased 30% as well. I believe Said Hamoud Al Mavli, he said that, going forward as a policy, as an airline, what is good is wide bodies. So we should focus more on wide-body aircraft, the efficient ones. But for the time being, we are resizing and repositioning the company.
Yeah, I believe this direction seamlessly aligns with the airline's strategy, which would mainly focus on eliminating losses and creating a foundation, basically, for future growth.
Yeah, 100%.
In parallel with the ongoing efforts to drive its transformation strategy forward, Oman Air has actually appointed a new CEO. What's exciting is, up next we have an exclusive interview with Con Korfiatis, the newly appointed CEO of Oman Air, to dive deeper into the airline's transformation strategy and future vision. So stay tuned. Con, thank you so much for having us, and congratulations on your recent appointment.
Thanks very much. It's a great pleasure to be here today. Appreciate the opportunity, and here for a very exciting reason.
I must say, it's not an easy feat leading an airline as big as Oman Air.
Well, the aviation industry per se is one where I call it in constant shock. It's just the nature of the industry. So it's a challenging industry. It's a complex industry, but obviously it's an exciting industry for those same reasons. And it's an important industry because it has so many different aspects to it, whether it be things close to our heart around, seeing family and traveling to see family, or with family, whether it's leisure and taking holidays and going to some beautiful spots around the region and around the world, whether you're traveling for business. But it's also a vehicle that delivers economic benefits for countries as well, and it's an important enabler as a key mode of transportation to tourism, bringing business and connecting the world. So for many reasons, it's a wonderful industry, but it's a turbulent one always.
Well, building on what you just mentioned, Oman has recently experienced a significant influx of travelers and visitors, and I'm sure Oman Air played a major role in facilitating this. Can you tell us more about this role?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Oman is a known wonderful tourism destination, but I personally believe it can be even better known, and we have a great opportunity to build its awareness and its presence so more people are aware of it. Obviously, accessibility is very important. So, to an economic agenda, to a tourism agenda, if you can't provide the access, people can't get there. And all over the world, the predominant source for each country is their home airlines, because really that's where they're vested, that's where they're based. They have the concentration of capacity and links to the different parts of, the region and the world. And from that point of view, Oman Air is critical in support of the national agenda, the national tourism agenda. But it also has a place as someone who moves people around the world. It's a world-class product, and it does primarily focus on Oman. But there's also traffic that comes through Oman. Some of it stops, some of it doesn't, but sees, Oman Air as someone who provides a very nice product to connect other parts of the world as well.
Could you give us an overview of the airline's performance over the past year?
Yeah. Well, the positive parts of the airline, and what I'm really proud and honoured to inherit in coming into this role, is an award-winning airline that is very service and customer focused, has a fantastic product, amazing food, and a great culture and attitude in the people that you meet, that are customer facing in our organisation. And so that's a hell of a responsibility for me to keep going. On the other hand, we're an airline that's been around for a lot of years, and as is common for airlines that were established a long time ago, practices over the years don't necessarily keep up to date. Our financial results have not been what we've wanted them to be, and in fact they've been quite dreadful, if I was blunt about it. And that's certainly an area where we need to improve. We need to not only keep it as a fantastic airline and a fantastic product, but we need to make it also a great business. And that's very important because obviously we have stakeholders. It does consume resources and capital, but at the same token, we'd like to see Oman Air grow and grow in line with the Vision 2040 program that Oman has. And to do that, you need to be able to generate returns to continually invest and buy new aircraft and new equipment and the latest product, and grow the family and the organisation as well. So that's a big piece of work. It's a transformation program. Bluntly, it started last year. It's had some early good results. I think our chairman has made some comments recently publicly around what was achieved in 23, and it was a good step. But it's really still in the early stages, and 24 is about taking that and increasing the momentum and taking it to the next level, accelerating, and there's a lot more to do. We think the transformation program will take us another 2 to 3 years to get us to where we ultimately want to be. There's milestones along the way, but we're confident that we can achieve those, and at the same time, keep the wonderful product that we have, but on the commercial side, build its awareness more broadly, have more people know about it, and more people that want to come to Oman and to fly with Oman Air.
Well, Oman Air has made significant strides in its ongoing transformation, and I would love to know more about it. If you can tell us more about the program and what does it entail?
It's all the things you'd expect to go on in a transformation. We're looking at our cost base, which encompasses what we pay for certain things, the commercial contracts that we have in place, the productivity we have out of certain assets, how we deploy them, where are we in automation relative to best practice, and improving and adding efficiencies within the organisation. Where are we on our digital platforms on the customer side? Where are we in data analytics? There's no stone that's going to be left unturned. And that process has started, but as I said, we're early in the process, and because it's a big job to transform airlines. I've been around transformations in other parts of the world in other airlines, and they're a multi-year program. There's no easy, quick fix where you can turn it around on a dime in 6 months or a year. So there's a lot to do. A lot of it is already programmed and we know about. But as we continue to dig more into the detail, I'm sure we'll find other things, which is why it takes that period of time.
It is indeed a big step. Oman Air has announced plans to maybe shift towards a single aircraft fleet, and I would love to know more about it. What kind of aircraft are you looking into, and how's that going to add value to your current offering? How's that going to contribute to advancing your transformation plan?
Well, currently we have quite a mixed fleet. And frankly, it's hard to build economies of scale when you've got such diversity. So we have 2 different wide-body aircraft types, and within those aircraft types, we have differing configurations as well. So that's one level of complexity. And on the narrow-body side, we're within the 737 family, but we have the older NGs as well as the most new generation MAX aircraft in the fleet. And again, they have different configurations and hard product on board as well. So I think, things that we're looking towards is simplifying the fleet structure. So I don't see us as being just a wide body operator. We will definitely have both wide bodies and narrow bodies in our fleet, but it is about having one wide body type and one narrow body type in the fleet, about having, the most modern and the most efficient product, and the product that brings the cost base, which enables us to provide attractive airfares and build a commercial success and a sustainable business at the same time. So it's around fleet simplification, if I had to summarize it in a couple of words, because it is complex, which again is just a function of the legacy of how things have evolved over the years when you're an older airline. But it's something that can be addressed and will be addressed, and that's firmly on the agenda to make some decisions on, which way we structure this around the fleet in the next few months. Actually, that's one of the early agenda items for me.
Great. Con, you've had a long, successful career, especially in the airline industry, and I would love to know more about your vision for steering Oman Air to growth, expansion, and success in the coming years.
Vision is around implementing things that we've already got in train, and I guess my role in coming in is to add, with my experience and having been around these things before, is really to escalate that and expand on the program. So we've had some good early wins, but we've got a lot more that we need to deliver on. I think from the organisation's point of view, we have a tremendous customer culture, but it doesn't say that can't be improved as well. I think our digital products that we have for our customers could be a lot better. So that's something we're going to be focusing on. I think, our internal data analytics have not been complex, and we need to understand our customers better so we can be more in tune and alert to the things they'd be expecting to see from us, so that we can also be dialing that into our strategy. So there's lots of good, there's areas to improve, even within the customer front. Obviously, as a business, that's the area where the most transformation, as I touched on, is going to happen. And so, what does success look like there? And that is really having a sustainable airline that can fund itself and can fund its investment to acquire more aircraft and expand its footprint and do all of that. And you can't do that if you're not a financially sound and a good business. So that's the area that that's going to take most of the effort, I guess, in the next 2 or 3 years. But all of that happens at once. There's elements of it, and on a prioritised basis across all of those aspects that kick in, in the coming weeks and months. And certainly we expect to have lots of things we can report on our scorecard, if you like, by the end of 24, to say, here are the things that we've done in 24, and here's what rolls into 25 and 26.
This transformation plan and this fleet simplification that you've mentioned comes, of course, at a price. When are you exactly setting sights on getting back to that financial performance to kickstart that plan?
On the fleet side, you've touched on it. You're right. It takes investment. Transformation doesn't mean you don't invest in things, but it's investing in the right things and then getting rid of things that you don't need to be doing and spending money on as well. So it's not just about what do you cut and where do you save. It's also about where do we invest? Where do we invest to drive economies of scale and efficiencies and productivity and greater data and so on. So on the fleet side, we have an existing order book, so actually we do have more aircraft coming as well. Right? So, and the new age aircraft, and consistent with the newer generation aircraft we have in our fleet. And so, primarily it's around that and the other areas I mentioned before as to how we move forward with this.
Unfortunately, this brings me to my last question for today. If you can tell us more about your immediate expansion plans for Oman Air.
I think transformations are an opportunity to stop and breathe and take stock of what you're currently doing. And, complicating that by trying to run a massive expansion plan at the same time doesn't make sense. When you've got things that aren't quite right and you're piling more things on the top, it's not smart business. So I think it's a case of a little bit of a pause, take a solid look at what we're doing, what are our foundations that we need to strengthen and build up on going forward, and then use that platform to go back to an accelerated growth. So I think through 24, you'll find a lot of it will be around focusing on the core, getting rid of inefficiencies, and building the foundation for the future platform for growth. And I think, beyond 24 is then we'll start getting back to growth mode. Having said that, on an incremental basis, there is growth. I think there were some announcements yesterday about our summer schedule. We are doing more flying than what's currently there, and there's seasonal demand for things, and we're catering to that. But then, in terms of more substantial growth, that'll come when we've got the foundations right.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the great insights, and thank you so much for joining us once again.
Thank you for the opportunity. Enjoyed talking to you. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to catch our next episodes for more aviation insights, in-depth analysis, and engaging discussions. Visit www.theaviatorme.com and subscribe to unlock more exclusive insights and analysis. Follow us on Spotify for more exclusive content. Join our social community on LinkedIn, X, Facebook, and Instagram. Until next time, we wish you safe skies.